The Chicago Bears have made their stadium location decision without saying a single word. We got to talk about what I mean by that starting now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the page. You do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. Only channel talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you stay in tune with us, man. So yesterday, the big talk around this team, of course, was the stadium. And I believe that the Chicago Bears have made their stadium decision without saying a single word. I talked about this yesterday on the podcast. I talked about this as well yesterday on the Chicago Bears podcast over on ESPN 1000. So check out both of those if you want to hear the full conversation. But here is my breakdown of how the stadium is gone. In layman's terms, let's have this conversation, right? The Chicago Bears essentially went to Chicago. They do this whole search for Chicago, doesn't work out. Realistically, we kind of knew it was never going to work out. They already had the land in Arlington Heights. It's a ploy to get the taxes where you want them. Taxes situation isn't going well. We're going to go down to Hammond, Indiana to solve the tax issue. Hammond, Indiana says, we'll give you whatever you want to come hang out down here, brother. You're the freaking Chicago Bears. We love everything that you do. You come on down here. We'll take great care of you. Chicago Bears go back to Illinois and say, hey, Illinois, they said they'll do whatever we want them to do. I'm talking about the wildest things you can imagine will happen down in Hammond, Indiana if you do not get your stuff together. Illinois says, bet it up. We'll get our stuff together. We'll figure out this mega bill project. We'll figure out how to keep you here in Illinois and not in Indiana. Vote happens the other day. Nothing is figured out. In fact, they vote on a different bill, which is very normal around the NFL, so not too surprising about it. And basically say, listen, this is what we'll offer you. We'll vote on this in November, so not on your timeline. And if you want to go to Hammond, you go to Hammond. We are willing to call your bluff in this conversation. And you know what the Chicago Bears said yesterday? We are still going to evaluate both sites, and we're going to figure out what's going to be best for the Bears moving forward. And we're going to check in not only on Hammond, Indiana, but also on Arlington Heights. When they called the Bears bluff and the Bears didn't immediately go, well, you know what? God bless Illinois. I'll see you later. The Chicago Bears made their decision. They don't want to leave Illinois. I'm starting to believe they don't want to leave Chicago. They don't want to get out of the state of Illinois. And so at this point, you have made your decision, if we are to believe you based on what you have said, that you are going to be in Arlington Heights no matter the situation. And maybe you own the land, but maybe not the stadium. And so you don't have to pay the property taxes because of that, which would be fine for you and more taxes on the rest of us. But to me, by not going out there yesterday, and I get it, right? I said within 48 hours of this whole situation, you would know for 100% certainty. But it sure doesn't seem like the Bears are preparing to announce, hey, we're getting ready to go to Hammond, Indiana. It sure doesn't seem like the Chicago Bears are getting ready to get the heck out of Dodge. By the way, only for about 10 games a year. So I'm not losing my mind on this, right? Again, I have said with all this stadium talk, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't have a feeling one way or the other on how this is going to go. But let's be 100% honest. And I want to put this in terms that most of us can understand. If you got a shorty out there that you frequent in, let's just say Hammond, Indiana, I'm sure they're out there, and she's willing to do whatever you ask her to do, but then you go back home to your main thing, and you're still sitting there talking about you want to keep the main thing the main thing. At what point does the side chick have to believe that, hey, he may not want me. He may not want to be with me. He may not want to move in with me. He may be using me to get what he wants. At what point are you having that conversation? Because that's the conversation that Hammond, Indiana needs to be having right now. Now, that is a very wild comparison, but realistically, that is what we're dealing with right here. Hammond has told the Chicago Bears, I am willing to give you everything you've asked for, and at some point, you get to buy the stadium back. And yet, The Bears are still going. We are looking at everything that is available because the main thing, the main piece, not the side piece, that main chick that is at home cooking, raising the kids, doing all of this stuff is saying, I'm willing to give you a chance, but you got to prove to me that you still want to be in this house and rock with us. That's the situation that the Chicago Bears find themselves in. And you know what? When put to the ultimatum, when put to the test, when asked, okay, now the ball is in your court, but because you know what we're willing to give you. And realistically speaking, at this point, it seems like there are enough Illinois lawmakers that call it what you want. If you want to call it petty, if you want to call it, just oblivious of the situation that they're in. But there's a part of me that respects that. And again, this is very different when you're dealing with billionaires and stuff like that. But there's a part of me that respects the pettiness of, bro, I'm not finna pay you to move out of my house and go over here. I'm not finna pay you to dip and go to another city. I'm not finna help you get what you need so that you can leave me. And again, put it back in that situation, right? I think with all that being said, at the end of the day, if you're the Chicago Bears right now, just come out and say it. I don't think that you have the leverage that you once had when this whole Hammond, Indiana thing started. I don't think that you're in a situation where right now you are looking to pack things up and move out of the state of Illinois, because I think that there's a part of this for George McCaskey. I think that there's a part of this for Kevin Warren, where you didn't come into this situation saying, hey, I want to go to Indiana. You didn't come into this situation saying, hey, I want to get this team out of the state of Illinois. And you probably don't want that attached to your name, and that is okay. But where we are at in this decision, it is pretty clear cut to me. The Chicago Bears have made their decision that, listen, we're going to ride this thing out with Illinois. We're going to figure it out for the sake of the argument, right? We're going to seek some counseling. We're going to figure some things out. We're going to get things right within the relationship, because this is where I want to be. And I felt this way for a while. I would say that maybe there's more of a chance that Indiana, is kind of in this or can kind of find their way into this, if maybe they tweak some things with what they want. But Indiana's offering you everything that you could have, and Illinois isn't. And when I heard that yesterday, when I saw them come out and essentially just go, look, we're done. I mean, we're still evaluating everything that's going on here. We love what Indiana has to offer us, but Illinois is still in play on this. How? They just slapped you in the face. They just basically told you, we don't really care what you want. This is what we'll give you. And you're willing to still consider them? That's not a real conversation on I'm looking to leave the city. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe at the end of the day, I'm wrong. But I'll tell you what, I don't expect shovels in the ground in 2026. It doesn't seem like you care, if you're Kevin Warren right now, you care nearly as much about cranes in the air in Hammond, Indiana, or breaking ground in Hammond, Indiana. It doesn't seem like you care heavily about, all of those things that you came in and said were the most important to you. Why? Because it's not as big of a look. It's not as good of a look. And so I'm truly wondering now, I know they keep saying Arlington Heights is the only thing that's in play, but I am truly wondering now if the Chicago Bears are at a point where that's just like, well, I wonder if we can, buy a Soldier Field, or if there's a point where we can buy the land and kind of do what we want with it. Because at this point, it's pretty clear cut to me that you don't want to get out of Illinois. And now I'm like, I don't know if you want to leave Chicago. At the end of the day, like I said, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not going to a ton of games. Of course, I'll go to the stadium just to experience it and see what it's like. But I'm a football on TV guy. I think I love to watch games where real Bear fans are. I think that there's going to be a lot of, especially once that new stadium is built, there's going to be a lot of corporate in that building. There's going to be a lot of that 100 level with those PCLs and things like that is not going to be where the Bears fans, the true Bears fans are. I think you're going to see a lot of people, a lot of those seats turn into business people conducting meetings and say, hey, do you want to go to a Bear game? I know you like the team. So to me, I've seen it happen with the Bulls. I've seen it happen with the Blackhawks. I think the Bears are next in line for it to happen too. It's definitely happening with the Cubs. And so I kind of just look at where the Bears are at right now. And I'm like, just make the call, make the decision, say something, because at this point, it feels wrong how you're doing Hammond, Indiana, because I don't think you're going to end up there. I may be wrong, but I believe the Chicago Bears have made their decision. Let me know how you guys feel down in the comments below. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. As always, man, it is your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe by the Chicago Bears. Now, one love. Peace.